All right, turn to 1 Corinthians 15, verse 58. So my dad asked me to give a short challenge for the new year. And I know the big thing with New Year's is the New Year's resolutions, right? Everybody's got their big goals that they have going into the next year. Obviously, everybody's goals are different. Some people it's maybe it's to lose weight, or if it's a financial goal, or it's to learn something new. But we all set these really big goals we have for what we're going to do in the new year. Hopefully we all have spiritual goals as well as, some of the lifestyle goals. But something tends to happen. Well, I'm going to read this verse first before I get into it. 1 Corinthians 15:58 says, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord." So with New Year's resolutions, I have found that one of two things tends to happen when I set one. So a couple years ago, I had set a goal in the gym, and I don't remember exactly what exercise it was and what weight it was, but it was on this specific lift, I want to, by the end of the year, be able to lift this much weight, right? That was my goal. I was set on it, and for the first 5 months, I was in the gym 4 days a week, 5 days a week. I was consistent. I was doing it. And then I hit the weight that I had intended much earlier than I expected. And then I lost all motivation to go to the gym again for the rest of the year. I had hit my goal. I was good. I was done. And then I went back the next day, and I was like, well, now what? I don't really care anymore. And so I stopped. And so the goal, right, the number was so that I would be in the gym, right? The number doesn't really matter, but it was something to keep me motivated. But then as soon as I hit it, I didn't want to anymore. Or another thing happens, and I'm really just telling on myself with both of these. But I was a young teenager. I was 13 or 14. And I told myself, I'm going to read through the whole Bible in a year, right? So I grabbed one of the little Bible reading schedules, and for the first 2 weeks, I was good. And then one night, I was up playing video games or something foolish, and I forgot to read my Bible. Not forgot to, I just didn't. I went to bed, and then I got up the next day, and I was like, well, now I got to do double. And then I didn't. And then I got up the next day, I was like, oh no, now I've got to do 3 whole days. That's too much. I don't know if I can do it. And eventually, I just completely lost the habit. I was reading sporadically, but I didn't even get close to halfway through the Bible by the end of the year because I had set this big goal for myself, and as soon as I missed one day, I was just done with the whole thing. And I think that is kind of what tends to happen. We have these New Year's resolutions. We're going to do all these things. And I do think most of us here are setting spiritual goals for ourselves, whether that's witnessing to people or handing out tracts or Bible reading and prayer. But what tends to happen is we set this big goal, and we make this goal whatever number it is or whatever thing it is, right? That's what we're focused on. And as soon as we deviate from it a little bit, we lose the habit entirely. And so my challenge, right, this verse says, "Be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord." My challenge is that we this year focus on building small habits rather than focusing on big goals, right? Rather than maybe I'm going to read through the Bible in a year, or, if that's something, some people try to do it twice in a year or whatever. It's just, I am not going to go a day without spending some amount of time in the Word. Or maybe it's, rather than I'm going to get this many people in church, it's just, I am not going to pass up on an opportunity to tell somebody about Christ. But I say, as we go into 2026, I would challenge you guys to focus on just living your life in the small ways, in a way that honors Christ, and building small habits that honor Christ. Because I think if you focus on that rather than the goal, you will end up much closer to that goal than if you just focused on the goal the whole way.